tech community. Welcome to lucky number episode 10 of AWS She Builds Tech Skills. Mai here, I'm a solutions architect from AWS. And I hope all of you are having a great Thursday evening or Friday in some parts of the world. So we'd love to hear where you're joining us from. So let's test out the chat function on the right-hand side here on Twitch. And we'll be using the chat function today, so you can ask lots of questions throughout the session, and we love talking to you. So make sure you're paying attention as we're going to be giving away AWS credits towards the end of this session. So May, I've been hearing from our customers on how awesome AWS ANZ Summit 2022 was in Sydney. So I've been reading this book from Jonathan Allen, who is a keynote speaker from AWS, and he's an enterprise strategist. And it's quite eye-opening for me to read about all his experience around cloud transformation. And not just that, but some of the common pitfalls that many customers go through around this. And it's basically a guide to overcome all of these. And I picked up this book because all of my customers have been raving about Jonathan keynote. So May, what have you been doing after ANZ Summit?
I can't believe it has been over nearly about a month since we have done ANZ Summit 2022. So a lot of catching up to do, a lot of customer conversations, just to picking up the conversations after in-person and the virtual ANZ Summit. I haven't read about that book, Mai, so I need to catch up on that as well. People have been talking about it, so I need to catch up on that book. So yeah, it's been busy the first month after the summit, but we have got a sneak peek of some of our audience who have missed the ANZ Summit. We have got behind the scene video of our ANZ Summit 2022 created by Lucy Wong and Mai, should we take a look?
Yeah, let's do that.
That is pretty cool. It's a lot of things going on. It's a lot of people, and we were really excited. Like, I was so excited to meet you the first time in person, Mai, since we have been doing this show for about, it's almost a year now. So that was such a great event. So for this week, for this month, for our show, we're going to talk about machine learning with SageMaker. And machine learning is such a very broad topic, and there are a range of machine learning services available out in the market, a set of machine learning tools that's available, and AWS also have a broad range of machine learning services. And for today's session, we want to focus on SageMaker Studio Lab. I'm not a machine learning expert, but I have tried a few of the machine learning tools, such as Amazon Recognitions for image and video analysis, Amazon Lex for chatbox using voice and text messages. So those are really easy machine learning tools that help you to integrate with some of your applications. And Mai, is there any machine learning services that you have been playing recently?
Yeah, sure. So when I was working with one of the engineering customers, we played around with Amazon Recognition custom labels. And basically the use case was to pick up wild animals in the jungle because they needed to do some surveying. Wow. And they were manually counting animals 24/7 based on looking at pre-recorded video footage to automate the counting. Well, they wanted to automate the counting, but at that point they were manually counting them and putting it in spreadsheets. So, May, do you enjoy working with spreadsheets? I don't.
No. Who loves spreadsheets? Oh, no.
I wouldn't hold anything against people that love spreadsheets, but
Yeah.
Amazon Recognition is basically a service that makes it easy to add visual analysis to your applications. So it lets you easily build really cool applications that you can search, verify, and organize millions of images and also video as well. And you can attach custom labels to it if you have company-specific things. So it not only recognizes animals, but objects, scenes, and faces, even celebrities, and even recognizes text as well. So there's lots of different ways that you can use recognition. So yeah, even if you're just starting out on AI services, I highly recommend having a play around with it.
Yeah. Wow, that's really awesome. I've tried recognition with the video analysis on the live streaming event, where the content creators. So one of my customer who is a content creator, but they want to validate the video content, making sure they are aligned with their branding and their the strategies and all these things, and they want to validate the content is aligned with all these things, but using the machine learning technology such as like Amazon Recognition. So that's really help them to increase that the journey of video productions, and also be able to do to integrate with machine learning to quickly detect if something is going on in their content. So yeah, those machine learning services really make it easy for like people like myself, who is not a machine learning expert and don't have much of a prior knowledge on the machine learnings, really help to get into those technology and help us to integrate into our application. So for this month session, do you want to introduce our next speaker?
Yeah, sure. So our next speaker is Girisha Garg, who is a senior technical trainer here from AWS. And Girisha enjoys delivering training content to developers, administrators, architects, and partners so that she can drive adoption and usage of AWS services, especially around AI/ML and data lakes. All right, so let's hear it from Girisha.
I'm a senior technical trainer with the India TNC team. I'm here today to talk to you about machine learning. Machine learning is all the rage, but it is also something that quite many find abstract. It'll just become yet another tool in every developer's toolbox kit, where they'll say, I can solve this problem statement using machine learning. You really have to get your hands dirty for the technology till you need to try it out. And for that, many of us have started our journeys on machine learning and AI, but our journeys are usually impeded due to lack of resources, lack of clear guidance, lack of time. If you think that you have started your journey, you have kickstarted your machine learning programs, and you are still sitting on the fence because of obstacles that are impeding your AI/ML journey, let's try it together to get you started on ML within 10 minutes without a PhD.
All right, mate. Shall we kick off the demo video on SageMaker Studio Lab that she's got?
Yeah, definitely. Let's take a look at the demo and see just hands-on on what's happening in the SageMaker Studio Lab.
Awesome. Let's do this.
Let's get started with a simple demo of SageMaker Studio Lab. I'm at the homepage of my account. Now remember, you don't have to create an AWS account for this. All you need to do is use your email ID to create this SageMaker Studio Lab account. Let me show you how can you get started on this. First of all, just start your runtime. This is where your complete project can get started. As I said earlier, you get 12 hours of CPU and 4 hours of GPU. All right, I'm going to start my runtime here. In the meanwhile, while this runtime gets prepped up, let me show you from where can you start learning more about different models, different algorithms. So we have a machine learning university which is open for all framework. Now you can go ahead and try to attempt the
notebooks which are shared as a part of the Machine Learning University on NLP, and tabular data on computer vision, decision trees, right? So all the notebooks that are available here, for example, if I go to the part 1 lecture, then I can simply click here, right? So all these notebooks are simply a part of, at just one click you can get them to be a part of your SageMaker Studio Lab, right? So you can open them directly on SageMaker Studio Lab from this button. Okay, so let's get back to our project. It's still prepping up. It might take some time. All right. So in the meanwhile, let's also see from where can you understand the architecture. So this is the machine learning blog out there, which can help you to understand how several services combine together to give you a complete architecture on machine learning. You also have open source Hugging Face notebooks here. You can see all these notebooks are available for you. If you really want to start only with the SageMaker Studio Lab experiments, which are provided for you as an example, so I'll just show you from where can you get them as well. So right now you can see the Jupyter Lab environment is spinning up for me. So this basically is taking me to the Jupyter Lab environment. Right now I'm not selecting any kernel. I'll just show you from where you can start getting Studio Lab notebooks. So you do have these in your directory. If you don't find these in the directory, go for the GitHub and just copy them here in your local directory. Okay, I can show you that as well. Give me one moment. So over here I'm at the Studio Lab examples, right? So I can just simply click on this button. And you can see now it has taken me to the disaster recovery translation file notebook that I was hoping to open up. Similarly, you can do the same thing for computer vision application examples. This is a KMNIST data set, right? So I can just simply click on this button and copy this to my project in SageMaker Studio Lab. So this will directly take me to the SageMaker Studio Lab environment. This is really cool, folks. Right? So either you can copy only the notebook here, or you can copy the entire repo. Okay, I already have this repo in my local directory, so I'm just going to cancel this for now. Let me show you how you can run one particular problem statement from start to end. I'm going to start with one of the examples from computer vision, which is KMNIST dataset. I have already a YML file to build the Conda environment. I can use that. If you want, you can build your own custom environments as well. Okay, so there you have, I've started with the KMNIST environment. Now I just have to click on this. And now you can see I have the complete example from scratch to end, my friends, right? So the major challenge which I faced when I was starting with machine learning was I did not know where to start from. I was going through the data, I was going through the research papers, through the books, whatnot. But as an experienced learner here, what I can advise you is go ahead and explore the codes. Okay, so as you keep on exploring the codes more and more after a basic understanding, that will clear out advanced concepts for you. For example, you understood what exactly is computer vision. You understood what are the steps required. Just go here. These ready-made notebooks are there to provide you that level of understanding, right? So just start installing them. And then when you go here, try to find out what each code means. What is each line of code doing here? So for example, here I'm installing all the required libraries. What would each library require to do, right? More forward, if I'm using Torch, what exactly is Torch for? So that is one advice from me. Rather than just sitting on the fence and saying I'm going to go first from the theoretical section, and then only I'm going to learn how to code on the practical aspect. My advice will be, yes, that's the right approach, but try to move a little backwards as well, right? So go through the code once. That will give you confidence of what exactly happens in the environment, right? So your learning will be more crystal clear. So that's just an advice. So you can see I'm running my training model here. I am defining my test function here, right? And finally, I can get my output. As simple as that, folks. So just imagine, you have so much resources at SageMaker Studio Lab. The only thing that can now stop you from learning machine learning is your own will. So get that right. Just get started. That's all I can suggest for you. Now, remember, just to reiterate the same thing, you don't need any credit card for this. You don't need any AWS account for this. These all are free of cost. You get these resources. Right now, you can see the running time remaining for me is 11 hours, 53 minutes. As I said, CPU is 12 hours and GPU is 4 hours for my higher deep learning algorithms. And you also get persistent memory of 15 GB. So it's not like my data will be lost. You can see when I started with you for the demo, I already had my data. So I have 15 GB of persistent data. Whenever I stop something, I can come back and have a look at the results. So this is a very nice example of how you can get started on your machine learning journeys at no cost, friends. Okay, so this is absolutely free of cost. Now let me also show you a few more examples. Okay. If you have any questions in the meanwhile, please feel free to reach out to me at girigarg@amazon.com. So you can see these are other notebooks. This is the EDA notebook where I can find out how do I start with the exploratory data analysis. So this is the exact thing that I was trying to tell you, that you don't need to wait. When will I get to learn the basics and then I'll start implementing? No, just go through this, understand what exactly these steps means on the theoretical part. Come back here, start implementing these. You don't even need to know how to code. The codes are already right there. Just implement them and then go back and try to understand each and every step. That's as simple as that, right? So, so this is a complete study, as I was saying, on EDA. I can get started on just installing the requirements, importing pandas. Pandas is a library for working on Python, pandas data frame. And then you can get the statistics of your data, information on the columns, statistical information, what are the column names, how are the targets distributed, what are the plots around that, and moving ahead, all the required steps for numerical features, all the required steps for categorical features are included, right? This is the correlation map that we understand, that we use to understand what is the relationship between different features. And if I have any missing values, for example, this you can see there's a missing value here, there's a missing value here, right? If I have these missing values, how can I remove those missing values? These are all the steps for that. So I'm just telling you all this because you just need to get started, folks. That's all you need. Okay. All right. So with this, thank you so much for your time. I'll be taking your leave. This is Dr. Girisha Garg. Thank you for spending time with me. I hope to see you all in our training sessions. If you think we can help you out to understand machine learning using AWS, please reach out to me at girigarg@amazon.com. And we will make sure that you get started on your journeys with machine learning with our TNC programs. Thank you so much. Bye-bye.
All right, I love that session with Girisha around SageMaker Studio. Now, I haven't played with that myself and I need to get started. Now, before we move into any questions in the chat, I thought I might share, the reason why I need to start learning more about machine learning is certifications. So eventually I will go and collect all of my AWS certifications, but it's a long journey. So I thought I'll share some of the something that will help people right now, which is the AWS training certification and resources. So there's 50% discount exam vouchers still available. So if you're going for any of the AWS certifications, please go and check that out, as well as AWS Skills Builder. So you can start off with some of the free digital offerings that you can play on demand as well. So highly recommend you start doing that, because there's a lot of free content that you can get started, even if you haven't actually played with any of the AWS services as yet. So and also, there's Cloud Up as well. Maybe May, you've been involved with Cloud Up as well, right?
Well, those are such a great program to get started. Even in the cloud journey, just understanding about, some of the core concepts, like you mentioned, like She Builds Cloud Up, such a great program to get started. Like even for the cloud practitioner, if you're more understanding of how the AWS cloud landscape is, or if you're a bit more technical and you want to get into that, you can have a look at the Associate Solutions Architect certifications. And so different range and different path to get into the cloud journey. So really exciting. And that is such a great goals of like getting all the AWS certifications. So well done for you setting that goal.
One day.
No, that's really good. I really enjoy the demo as well with Grisha, because machine learning is very broad, right? And people who are trying to get started, I find it really challenging to get started, because there are so many different paths, and getting into it, like Grisha mentioned, just get into it, just try it out. And the good thing is you can test it out, and if it's not something that you don't like you can just do something different. Or if you can really get into it, diving deep into machine learning, and be really hands-on and become an expert, then that's great as well. So I think Grisha mentioned about how you can get started. I think I'm going to take that advice. I haven't tried myself SageMaker Studio Lab, so I'm going to try that out. And I didn't know that was really cool feature she mentioned in the demo, that from the GitHub, when you go to the Studio Lab examples on the GitHub, that goes directly linked back to the SageMaker Studio. So that makes it really easy just to if you want to try a different lab from the GitHub, you can just go in and search for that, and that's go directly back into the Studio Lab. So, there is no cost associated with it. You don't have to create AWS account. So that's really make it very easy for people like myself to get into the machine learning journey and see what's out there in the market.
Yeah, awesome. Now I think it's quiz time. So I know there's a related question there in the chat, but before we go to that answer, May, do you want to talk about today's quiz to win AWS credits?
Yeah, so we are giving away all the viewers AWS credits, whoever get the right answer. We only have got one question. So very, very hard if you have been listening to the video and the Studio Lab. The question is, do you need AWS account to get started on SageMaker Studio Lab? You can answer yes or no in the chat, and whoever get the first right answer is going to get AWS credits. I'm going to post it in the chat as well. I'm going to give a few more seconds, maybe 10 seconds for the answer to come in. So do you need AWS account to get started on SageMaker Studio Lab? So that's the questions, and you're going to get some AWS credits from that. Anyone want to give it a shot?
We need more people.
We do.
Yes or no?
All right. I think we have got one person that answered the correct account, correct answer. So N3W underscore SB1C3. Yes, you got the right answer. So you don't need AWS account to get started on AWS. Well, SageMaker Studio Lab. You can just go straight on to the Studio Lab and get started, like Grisha mentioned. So that's really great. Like no credit cards or anything attached to it. You can just go in and play around with it. Thank you, and I will direct message you for the winner and get you some AWS credits. Cool. So this is it for our SageMaker Studio, but I have got two more things, which is the link to the SageMaker Studio Lab that we mentioned. So if you want to check out SageMaker Studio Lab, I'm going to drop in the chat for the SageMaker Studio Lab, and then the GitHub examples that Grisha mentioned, where you can get directly from the GitHub and copy it straight into your Studio Lab. So here's the two links. One is to understand the concept of the SageMaker Studio, and then the second one is to get actually hands-on on some of the machine learning in the SageMaker that you can do.
Awesome. That's great that people can start to hop on through GitHub to SageMaker Studio Lab. So definitely homework for me as well. And I hope to see you all in the next episode in about a month's time. So we'd still love to hear your feedback and tell us what you'd like to hear from next. So especially if if you've built something cool on AWS, and if you're a woman or non-binary, and you want to showcase what you've built, please do reach out to us, and we'd love to have you here as a guest. So reach out to us via LinkedIn or the AWS She Builds group for more events coming your way as well. And if you missed our previous episodes, you can hit subscribe on the YouTube channel. So let me pull up the banner there if I can find the thing. So yeah, the QR code right here on the corner there. So scan the QR code to subscribe to any upcoming events, and have a look at the long version of the AWS Summit video. Now, this is Mai.
And this is May, and let's net out together on the AWS She Builds Tech Skills. See you next time.
Bye.